Good morning, Cindy Birkeland here, cindybirkeland.com, and it's time to talk about that boring stuff again, savings, investing, and all that kind of stuff. Today, I want to talk about the difference between savings and investing. So a lot of people say, what do you mean? Isn't that the same? And I'm like, not even close. So I've been harping for weeks now for everybody to save their money. Okay, so let's define savings and why we would save our money. So when you're saving money, you're typically saving it in what we would consider a pretty safe place. You're saving money and putting it in the bank. People look at a bank as a safe place to keep their money. And the problem with putting your money in a bank is you're going to get a very minimal return. In fact, most banks are paying 0.0001% in interest. And when you're in a bank, you're getting a fixed interest rate, and there is absolutely no risk in putting your money in a bank for the most part. Now, why do we have a savings account? Well, we've talked about this before. This is for your protection and your family's protection. And what I mean by that is when your employer decides to fire you, or your employer says you must have a vaccination to work here and you don't want to get a vaccination, or you're sick of the place that you work and you flat out want something new. Well, here's the deal, guys. If you have 6 months worth of living expenses in the bank and you get fired, do you have a pretty good chance of finding a job in 6 months? I would say the answer is yes. And what this does is it doesn't put you in a place of trauma or panic that you have to find a job right away. 6 months gives you time to find a job and a career that you actually want. So savings is for things like emergencies, your car breaks down, or you need brakes, or you got into a car accident and your car's been totaled and now you have to rent a car for a month while you look for a new one. A million different things can go wrong in life. I'm sure we're all familiar with the oopsies of life. So that's what savings is for. And that's why we always want to save at least a minimum of 10% of our income and put it into savings for an emergency fund so that you have at least 6 months worth of living expenses in the bank. And a lot of people say, oh my gosh, let's say your living expenses are $6,000 a month. That means you need $36,000 just sitting there in the bank doing nothing that you have access for in case of an oopsers. Now let's talk about investments. Investments are things that we take our savings with and we buy investments. So investments are an asset. Investments are what makes money back, that gives us a rate of return. Now, depending on what you invest into, an investment can be risky or an investment can be low risk. My favorite products are that which have no risk. But do I have products with high risk? Yes. Typically high risk means a very high rate of return. But there are no guarantees with those. I like products that are going to give me a nice rate of return with a guarantee for no risk. But again, that depends on your preference, and a lot of it also depends on how old you are when you make an investment. So again, an investment is something that makes you money and pays you back. It's something that you put money into and pays you back later. Kind of like a kid, other than this is the one kid that will pay you back later. We put money into our kids and they don't always pay us back, right? But again, an investment is something that you put money into and it pays you back later. So let's focus, guys. 10% of your money, no matter what, goes into savings. Once you get your savings big enough, you take that money and you invest. So any questions on this, guys, hit me up at cindybirkeland.com and let's have a conversation. Let's get you straightened out and get you rolling right. Have an amazing day.